Not often in the independents do you see somebody and go, he's going to be a star. In the summer of 2021, I saw this young man for the first time ever and immediately knew that with the proper training and the right patience, at some point, one or another, he was going to be a star. Now, while it's subjective to say that he's exactly that at the moment, it's only a matter of when, not if. I'm talking about someone who's extremely dedicated and extremely passionate about independent professional wrestling, and his star continues to rise day to day, event by event, which is evident by his 2023 alone. Jokes aside, I'm talking about someone who I admire and respect so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the following conversation is scheduled for one fall. My guest, Jay Boujii. Welcome to the program.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This is fun. What am I? I'm guess what? 3, 2.
You are technically your guest 4
4.
because I'll put it out there. I to promote BCW, I put the Mike Law episode first, but I got the promoter for ECWA on. He was my first one,
Okay.
and he'll be on. I think I'm gonna air that Monday because it's gonna come up today, same day Friday. But I'm glad to have you on.
Yeah.
Be it through BCW or in general, I love to have it. I love talking to you, seeing you. I'm gonna let you in on a little tidbit that you don't know about.
Oh man.
At Hog, when you joined Ken Broadway,
Mm-hmm.
somebody was there giving you the middle finger and just giving you the business, and you were just entertaining them and middle fingering them back or whatever. And that was my best friend. What you don't know is I was standing right next to him, going like this, hoping you would see
Really?
me.
All right, so
And you
was
were
that
by the ramp.
that was yeah by the ramp?
So he was my best friend, and I'm sitting at the other end. I'm sitting at the other end because you've been part of Hog, but I wasn't sure if you were going to be on or not
Mm-hmm.
because I already saw the scramble match. I'm like, oh, okay. But then when I saw the guy in the hood, I was like, oh shit, there's Boujii. So I moved from where the wall is because I already was like, oh, this fucking Boujii. I moved from where the wall is. I came into the ramp, and you were so into my best friend that I'm there like this, like the ultimate mark, hoping you'd see me and break. I'm not on camera, luckily, because I know somebody would have been like, "Hey, what are you doing in this Hog show?" Because God forbid you go to another indie show. Um, you know, yeah, but I was there when you joined Broadway, which was cool because I'd seen you in the scramble matches on the live. So seeing you have your moment in the sun was pretty cool.
Yo, bro, it's funny that you say that because like now that like I'm thinking back on that, I feel like I might have seen you. Like it makes
Oh, that's
sense.
worse.
Like no, because it's like bro, you know me. I'll be like dialed in. You feel me? I'm just like so zoned. But like now that I'm thinking back on it, because once you said it, I'm like by the stage. I'm like now I'm kind of remembering the faces that I kind of seen.
Yeah,
And so like now that I'm not like being a hothead right now, I'm like, oh
yeah.
wait, maybe that kind of makes sense.
And then on top of that, at Hog at Amazura, because there's so many people and the lighting is so it's a mix between Perfect Wrestling and a club. Like the faces
Yes.
kind of smack you when you start looking for them
Mm-hmm.
because they kind of just fade out as you go further and further into the row. So I get that. I will never forget seeing you for the first time with the Boost Taraj and the look and at Upper Limit Wrestling, and I was like, this guy ain't even bumpy yet, and he's got it. Like I was like with the girls and the bottle service and the entrance and and I was like, this guy ain't even getting a ring yet, and he's got it. Now, a lot of people don't know this. You're by proxy trained at Johnny Rod's, right?
Yeah.
New York guy. You took a chance on yourself, and you're like, man, F this. I'm ready. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start doing matches. I'm gonna start talking my shit. And I knew right away, like, okay, he can have a match. He can have a few matches.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the most polished, but it'll pay off in the long run. And if he puts the open ring time in, it'll kind of balance out. Were you at all nervous of that? Because you know how it is with trainers, especially the old school cats, the guys who are by the book, the Hall of Famers. They're like, no, you're not working for a year at least, and you got to
No.
do the ref, you got to do the ring crew. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that,
No,
but
of course. Like
for you to just say, nah, I'm gonna do this is just totally radical by today's standards. So like, where were you at when you're like, man, I'm gonna go do matches? I don't care how
right,
many months in.
it's radical is a perfect word for that because like uh everyone the group takeover at one point, myself, Jacko,
Yes.
PJ, and Face, like to be honest with you, we didn't do a lot of like ring work, like setting up rings and doing all that stuff, bro. Like we kind of like just came in, and for what it's worth, like before like we had like fully went full throttle, I think like a couple promoters knew who PJ was because I think he was sending out his fillers on his own. And like that kind of like helped us. Like if he was on the show, like everyone knew if one member of Takeover's on the show, we're all showing up. So like that, like that's literally how it happened. So it was like, oh, like these guys are a group, and then like we weren't kind of like being like assholes about it either. Like if there was a spot, like, hey, can your boys do this or that? I was like, we're like, yeah, let's do it, because like we're all about the story and like what we
the way that I remember it when Takeover was a legitimate thing. And this, because I think this is a fair time for like clarity, right? Yeah. So the way I remember it is, say you got booked and you spoke to me, let's just say, hey, my buddies are coming, you don't got to put them on, they're just coming to hang out, see how it is, because you might have been the only one booked that weekend anyway. So you're like, all right, I'm going to go bullshit, I'm going to go look at this place, I'm going to go support my boy, yada, yada, yada. But it wasn't like, hey, if you book me, you book the other three of us. No, none of you in the early going, I felt like, or heard, did that.
Nah, it wasn't. It was just more so like, yo, you book, cool. Like we were just supporting each other. You feel me?
Right, because you all were starting out at the same time, give or take.
Yes.
And you were all working different places. You were working whoever answered you. So the idea is, I may work here someday. Let me go join and help and do what I can. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's either you help out or you're out of the way. And that's what all you guys were doing.
Because like at first, when we first did the like at first, it was a lot of like. It was a lot of struggle with trying to get Takeover to the place because, like, one thing with independence is if it's not a promoter's idea, they don't want it. Like, they are like, I don't really know, or if it's done somewhere else, they want to do something different. So, like, I think one of the first few times like of Takeover, it was with actually PJ, Jacko, and Face. It was at IWA. I wasn't even there yet. Like, it was just them.
Yeah, like, I remember. That sounds right because it was a while before you were at IWA.
Yeah, bro. It was
a while. Like you were always to me like the one that could, because you were still getting it done, just not with them.
Yeah. And you know, at first I was like, in a way, I was kind of like offended because it's like, yo, like y'all know there's another member of the group, you know, like y'all know that I'm here. Like you are very much so aware of me. And if it's not that, it's when we was at Invictus. They only had me, Jacob, and Face, and we had to act like, oh, PJ wasn't in the group because again, it wasn't Invictus' idea. Yeah. But like, so we're fighting each other on Saturday, but Sunday we got a book and it's all four of us, and we showing up doing an entrance. Yeah. They're like,
it's like, oh, you're buying the Happy Meal, but I can't talk about the toy.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. No, I get it because I would see that and I'm like two places will use the four of them, and only I didn't get it. Like they try to see if two of y'all could be a tag team for a bit. They try to see if it could work as a trios. Like I get it. And listen, I'm trained by a promoter. So I understand it's true. Promoters are like, everybody's doing it. I don't want it. The stigma becomes, if you book one, you got to book all four. Mm-hmm. I got to find room for them. Oh, if I don't put them together, I get that. And that happens. Mm-hmm. And if you're not willing to have the conversation with somebody, then you're not going to know that it's what it is. But yeah, it was some trying times, I would imagine, for the Takeover. And
very, bro.
It's like you guys were incompletely everywhere in 2021.
Yeah, bro. Like it was just so many different variations, bro. Like everywhere you go, we used to have a joke where it was like, oh, Boujii's non-canon. Like we were just,
I remember that.
It's like, yeah, well, no, he's not canon here, so he's not this. It's just like, all right, I felt like it was insulting the fans, bro, especially for the people who like were actually starting to follow us, who are really interested in us. They're like, oh no, like I like this group, but we have to pretend like they aren't together. Like I remember we would do it would be, what was it? It would be, we do Invictus, and then we'll be at a Titan or SWF or whatever, and they'd be like, wait, so are y'all not a group? Are y'all breaking up? I'm just like, nah, just right now we're just like, I don't know how to explain it.
I heard the story. Was it Titan or IWA where it was the three of them, and for some reason the crowd, as if you're like the hottest guy in the WWE, starts chanting for Jay Boujii? Where was that?
That was probably, damn. I feel like that happened at both places at one point, but I feel like maybe IWA was.
Okay.
It sounded like it was maybe IWA because like Titan was weird at first because they had me, Jacob, and face on the Funhouse brand, like when they first started doing that. So like, all right, so
Yeah.
my first independent wrestling match was with Titan, but underneath the Funhouse brand. So
Yeah.
I think I did like a Fatal 4. It was me, Marvelous, Hyena Hex, and James Gray. Like that was the first match I ever had. I remember we was out in Toms River, New Jersey. It was cold as hell. The ring was outside.
Yep.
I didn't have like no upper ring gear. Only had my tights. I just got my tights done. I was like, yo, it's too cold. So I just threw on my Nike windbreaker. I just went out there with it, and just from there, I was just like, all right, cool.
And for those of you who don't know, the Funhouse brand is owned by New Jersey wrestling legend Magic. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know about Funhouse brand, then you know about Magic, because we were having a conversation with Mike Law that a lot of people don't. And I guess I get it. You know, a lot of people will tell you, you know, the last 10 years of WWE champions, but they won't tell you, you know, the history of New Jersey independence, you know, or New York independence, you know. So I get that. So when did you get the feeling of like, oh, okay, I'll be all right. Like, okay, this is starting. This whether you be with the takeover or by yourself. When did you start like, okay, this is gonna work out? I don't know if I'm gonna make it a TV yet, but this is gonna work out.
I want to say like the seed was kind of like first planted after we did the Takeover versus STP show, and after myself and Rev Ron Hunt's match, bro. Like just like that day overall, bro, was such a taxing day. Like I remember I had to go pick up the rental, I had to go pick up Maluda from the airport, I had to go drop him off. I'm coming back home. I'm
It was a
getting
Sean, right?
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
getting my gear. I'm getting Shayla. We're on our way to the show, bro. And bro, I swear, we just make the right onto the highway, caught a flat tire. Flat
No.
state, bro. We was out there and it's a rainstorm. It's thundering and all that stuff outside. I was waiting in for like an hour waiting for someone to come pick me up because there was no mechanics available. Nothing was going on. Everyone knew like this was a show that I had put together. We all put together pretty much, but I did the majority of the work.
Right.
But I'm
Been
just
there.
waiting. I'm like, damn, I'm not even at my own show. You know, I'm still waiting. And then I finally get there because I was supposed to go on before intermission. But because it took me so long to get there, I probably got there like right before my match was supposed to go on. I got there like right before intermission. So I'm just waiting. We go upstairs like, yo, let's go do it. Music hits, bro. And it was like, that was probably like the biggest pop I had got. Like,
Up to that point.
yes, bro. Like I just went out. I was like, oh, like I felt that. I see everybody, like, because I didn't see the crowd. I didn't see nobody because remember I got there late. I just shot downstairs real quick. I come up, I seen so many people in there. I'm like, yo, we did this. Like,
So it's your show. You're unaware of the draw. Everyone's kind of kayfabing you because somebody might think 80's too low. Somebody might think that it's too high.
mm-hmm,
You're getting only but so many updates while dealing with the car. You
mm-hmm.
come in, gears on, walk out, and you get this ultimate gratification.
Bro, I'm just there like, oh, and like you see it too. Like there's a video right before I went out, like I was a little nervous. So I'm like, yo, this is the biggest match to date for me. You feel me? Like I'm working a former TV talent. He's part of one of the best groups that was in Ring of Honor history. And I'm just waiting. And it was like, I didn't know who was going on first, whoever it is. I just heard my music. And then at that time, I had to take over theme song. So every time before I went out, you hear Faces Battle Cry. So that used to always get me hype. You feel me? I purposely always put that in there. And then I just went out there, bro. I remember, you know how the Mecca is. So like I opened the door, the curtain's there, and through the side of it, I see my mom. Like my mom sees me and like she just gets so happy. And like that was like a great feeling for me. And I went out there, bro, and it was just amazing. Then like my baby brother got sick that day too, so he couldn't come to the show, bro. Like it was so much going on for that day. But we had the match. It was a bodega street fight. Shayla went through a door. We did everything that we possibly could do. And just everyone was invested in it. And it was like, I feel like that was the main event of the show. Like, yeah, you had PJ and Shane on paper, that's main event because they're the heavyweights of the group. Shane's the guy, and everything like that. But I believe my match with Rev sold that show. Like, everybody came to see that match because we was doing the most promotional work. We going back and forth on Crocs, ring lights, like all this other type of stuff. And then we had that match. And, like, at the end of that night, some people came up to me and was like, yo, like, it's you. Like, yeah. Like it's you. It's definitely like it's you. You gotta start. I'm just there like, I'm like, okay. Because like for me, bro, like I'm the type of person where it's like I want like if I'm with people, I want all of us to grow. So like at the time I was never thinking on some like, all right, I'm gonna go do my single stuff. I wanted Takeover to succeed so
Sure.
badly, bro. And like it, for what it's worth, it succeeded how it needed to get me where I'm at and get us all where we are. But like I feel like we could have did a lot more had we didn't let all the other New Jersey like politics and BS like dictate it, bro.
Yes. Yes.
That
But
was
that also, even if you didn't know it then, it's going to happen, right? And then it also is like you're responsible for you at the end of the day.
yes,
So that, I think that's just the best way to put it.
yeah.
Without going down a what could be a sour rabbit hole, if you will. But
That
I'll
listen,
say
I,
this.
like for me, like it's not even. I don't like. It doesn't like make personally doesn't make me sour because like it's the truth of the matter. Like again, like you said, I'm me. I'm responsible for myself. There's a lot of things that I personally did not agree with like how things were going about, and we all had these conversations. Like we all knew we were all four different personalities, and you would say the stronger of the four of us was myself and PJ, and we had very different ways on how we wanted to go about stuff. And I was like, you know, bro, like if that works for you, that's you. But like promoters, like people can't expect me to be like you. Like that
Right.
can't happen. Like I'm my own person, bro. Like if you're gonna get bougie, how you get bougie. I'm not gonna come in and do the same stuff that PJ does. That's PJ. That works for him. That doesn't work for me, bro. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be me, like through and through. So that was a conversation that we had, and then we ended up like we all met up. No, it was actually me, PJ and Face. Jacob couldn't make it at that time, and we was just sitting down. We was in Harlem at a pizza shop, bro, just talking, like trying to talk it out and trying to like figure things out on where we want to go with it. And again, like I said, it was just like a lot of outside stuff where
Yeah.
like I'm like, bro, like I can't do this. Like it's not working for me. Like I can't be me. I can't comfortably be me if people think I'm gonna move like you. And it's like that
Yeah.
I can't.
And did you have a moment where it's like, oh man, am I an asshole for being out upfront about it? And am I doing the right thing by not taking it for all of us? I took it for long enough. Like
Bro,
like did you have like almost that Beatles syndrome?
for like bro, I trust me, I took a lot of stuff for a long time, like a lot, like just go by, bro, and I'm just there like, yo, I can't do this no more. Like
Yeah.
no matter what I do, it's still, oh well, Bougie's this, Bougie's that. And it's like you're hearing these things from other people and you've never spoken to me a day in your life.
Never. Yeah.
Never,
Yeah.
like never, bro. And it's like, oh, I'm scared to talk. What are you scared to talk to me for? If you're getting worked up by my character and who I am when I shoot a promo, then that makes me question your authenticity and if you deserve the position that you're in. Because we know what this is. We
Yeah.
know what this is, and it's like if you're falling to that, it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't be where you're at. And bro, I got tired of it, bro. I'm just like, yo, I can't do this, bro. Because like every time it was a problem, and I'm just like, how? Like
Yeah.
I didn't even do anything. Like, don't get me. Sometimes, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I used to be bugging sometimes. Like, I take full responsibility for some of the stuff that I've done, and it's okay. Like, it helped me get to where I'm at. You know?
Did you also have situations where, okay, you're thinking the night is problem free, and then you hear something, it's like, well, what the hell is it now?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because in May, I'm doing this 10 years, and I've had the privilege of being friends with a lot of teams and factions and groups. And without getting into the details of any of them, and let alone the takeover, I know the experiences y'all went through. You
Bro.
specifically, because we're kind of in terms of mindset, we're very similar people in a way. And it's like, we're homies, one for each other and all for one. And that's like, all right, one's got to go. I get it. Is the chapter of that entity completely closed? Like it, I it would be a tough thing not to ask it, right? Like if
No, yeah.
we're at a point in the conversation where it's like, well, I can't not ask that question.
No, yeah. I
I
mean,
know it's not. I know it's harder to put together now because of everything you have going on.
yeah.
And I don't like to speak for other people, but it's pretty transparent. So, like, is it doable?
I think, but like, so the biggest factor, like you said, a lot of things that I have going on, I feel like that's like, it does like throw like a monkey wrench in it. I don't like, It's tough, bro, because for me, I feel like we didn't reach our full potential. And now we all went off on four different directions, and you see the difference between
Yes.
everyone and like what we're doing.
Yes.
That's just what it is. Like it's
Yeah,
not
no offense to anybody.
oh yeah, nah, like
The hierarchy now is very transparent.
yeah, bro. It's so different. So it's like if we did it, it's like would it be forced? Would it still come off like what would our purpose be? Because at first when we came in, it was takeover. Like, okay, we're coming in to take these spots, coming to show people what we do and everything here. Okay, didn't work out. What's the reason for bringing us back together? Like, how do we get there? And I'm not 100% like opposed to it, but it's just like the saying, you know how they say it gotta make sense. Like a lot
Yeah.
of these like common terms you hear within wrestling and just with everything that goes on, where it's like it gotta make sense. Like it dead has to make sense. Like right now, I don't see how it makes sense unless like it's like a one, not even like a one night only. Like let's say we're doing like because for the first time we're all at Titan. Like the first time since we ever broke, we're all at one promotion, like together. You know, well not together.
That's for the next one, right?
Yeah, like we're all there. So it's like, would it happen at Titan, which was one of the places where it was like, oh, why it didn't work at, you know? Like
Yeah.
it's so much to it, but I don't know, man. I feel like it's gonna take like it's gonna take a lot because like guys gotta just want like because we all grown too. Like look at me now, I'm a father now too, bro. You
Yeah.
know, like I've grown as an individual and like I know what I want from this business. Like I'm not so naive to a lot of things where it's like okay, like I'm not that I know my worth, but I know nah, this is some BS here. We need to do this. Like this is how we got to move. And again, it's those powers that be that first of all didn't like us how we came in. They was like oh like who these guys think they are? Like they're
Sure.
doing this and doing that. And now it's like okay, we solidified ourselves, especially in the New Jersey scene. People know who we are now we have a bit more pull with our direction. Are they going to be receptive to that and open to like, hey, we got to take these guys like input like for real this time?
Here's the other thing too, right? If you pitch the one night scenario, it's one of two things. There's no in the middle because it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
It can be done. Period. If you're the right promoter with the right sales pitch, it can be done.
Yes.
No offense. Yeah, if I could do it. No offense to any other real promoters.
Bro.
Having said that, right? It's one of two things. It's either, especially for you, the ultimate closure, like, okay, I'm satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
We're done. I don't got to go back there. Or obviously it's like, maybe we could do this again.
Bro, you said it perfectly, bro. Like I said,
right?
I'm not satisfied with how things ended. I'm not like I talk about it with them.
You might get closure and you don't even think that. You might see it as I'm not satisfied. I wish we had a run. I wish we had a year, 6 months. Then you get the one night.
I'm good.
And you might be like, I'm good. and two other people might be like, no, I'm not good. Or two of y'all might be good and two of y'all might be,
Yeah, bro. Like I feel like now that time has passed, I feel like they know like we kind of messed this up. Like maybe Boujii was right. Like
hindsight's 2020, right?
But it's cool. It's cool.
Hey, I get it. I'm not here. I know it sounds like I know the whole story, but
nah, you know enough.
I know enough, and it's kind of like when you see one rock and roll band, and they all got their tensions. You kind of you know them all. You mentioned your mom earlier, and there's a specific moment that I wanted to bring up before I get into some accolades here.
Mm-hmm.
I will remember reading your post about when you did your first show in the Bronx, mm-hmm. and Shane Fair gives you this big intro, and you told Shane like, "Hey man, like you're ready to do your thing. Could you possibly put a little extra on it? I'm from the Bronx. My folks are here tonight. My family, my this, my that.
Yep.
Could you do the intro? It means a lot to me, and I get that. Because for some of us, performing in our borough is the same as like our home state, our home this. Because unfortunately, in the independent, some of us are not going beyond a certain point, mm-hmm. right? And I'm not saying that's what your mindset was, but in the moment, it's like, fuck that. This is where I'm from. This is my hood.
Yeah. This is a sense of pride.
So, what was that like? Because I don't think it gets talked about enough. we talk about it with WWE and AEW superstars going back to Long Island, New York, Cincinnati, but being from New York and getting to perform in the 5 boroughs it's in that same conversation, is it not?
Oh, of course, because it's like, bro, like I trained at Johnny's in Brooklyn, so like Brooklyn was cool, but a lot of my friends weren't going up to Brooklyn.
And if you live in the Bronx, that's a long ass ride.
Yeah, bro. My grandparents weren't going to Brooklyn, so that show where we was back in the Bronx, like it was my first time my grandma ever seen me wrestle. And she was so against it, and I'm like, Grandma, you got to come. It's in the Bronx, like it's right
Yeah.
here, So she came. It was my grandma, my aunt, both my god sisters, my mom, Shayla's mom, my baby brother Bryce. Actually, a bunch of my friends from high school came too, bro. So it was like it was like again another night where I remember like a pop where I was like, oh shit, like damn, bro, like
Yeah.
if it feels great. So being able to perform in the Bronx is always special to me because I grew up on Kingsbridge, so that's right there. And like for me
And it was
personally,
right after the pandemic when New York shows were just starting.
oh yeah,
Because if you were doing a show in the Bronx, it was either in the ass end of Brooklyn or the Bronx. Excuse me, in New York.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those places, or the Elks, but it wasn't as frequent, if you will. Let's get right to it, right? BCW, okay, is tomorrow night. We're talking welcome to the new year, 2024. Before we even get into that, let me just give you a rundown real quick. I'm going to take the camera off myself because I want to see your reaction.
Okay.
As I kind of read these out, because I was thinking about it and I'm like, man, this is a hell of a 2023 to come into if you really think about it. So let's take a look. I took the liberty.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Defeats last year in no order specific.
Okay.
Defeats Big Game Leroy. Right?
I was just watching it last night. It's one of my best matches ever.
Defeats Big Game Leroy. Okay. You have out of 3, 2 victories over Cheeseburger. Okay. Out of 3 matches, 2 victories over Cheeseburger. First appearance in a submission match, you best Kit Raff. Okay.
Oh shit, yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and say it was WrestleMania, but you worked at the end of the day, say what you will, an icon of New Jersey wrestling. You went to a draw with Andrew Anderson. And that in and out of itself is an accomplishment, right? Okay. You took on Facade in an awesome matchup. The controversy around it made it even better. To come back in the rematch, all right, I'll never forget those 2 matches back to back. Bro, you beat Flip Gordon in 2023.
I did beat Flip Gordon.
Okay. All right. To then transition to debuting into, I believe it's the Matt Travis Memorial, right?
Yeah.
That gets your foot in the door.
Yeah.
That gets your foot in the door. All right. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about the Boujii Fight Club, you and Mr. Thomas taking down main event, right? That happens on TV. Okay. For MLW at 2,300 at that. And the match for me that made me go again, because I have a very, I take everything you do very personally, like Michael Jordan in Space Jam. The one that I called you versus Khan. I was like, man, seeing this kid almost from his start to now is like such a thrill. Like that's a hell of a year.
That is, bro. I'm like, you say, I'm like, oh shit, like damn, yeah, I did do that. Like it's crazy, like when you like talk about it, because I'm very strategic in what I do. Like I don't like wasting time, and especially because like I'm not booked every weekend. You feel me? I'm not like one of the like indie darlings and stuff.
And you're also pretty transparent about I'm good staying home.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm good, bro. I'm so good.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. So like, all right, when it comes to like putting these matches together, bro, like I'll look at the PWI list. I look at people like who I want to face, and then like I'll look at like, okay, like what makes sense. Like I'm not just yelling at the sky for no reason. Like,
and you've appeared on PWI twice now, right?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. like with Khan, bro, it made the most sense for me to keep going after Khan. I believed it was gonna happen. I was very upset he didn't come to that show. I was so upset, bro, because the lead up to all that, bro, we're trying to figure everything out, bro. The show almost didn't happen. We're waiting to hear back from him. He's not saying
Yeah.
anything, and then boom, Khan's AEW, whatever it is. Fine, go ahead, right? So I
Yeah.
took that personally. I did.
Right.
So now when
Right.
it came down to when I was finally like getting settled in that BCW, and I see Nana was there, and then the whole embassy thing was starting to come together and what it was. I'm just there like, no, bring your mans. Bring your
Yeah.
mans. You're here. Bring your mans, bro. And,
Yeah.
and like I have fun with it. And I feel like another reason too, where it's like they actually answer me is because like they know they're gonna get some quality. Of course, you're gonna get paid. I'm gonna make sure you're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
Hey, Boujii call me out. Oh, cool. It's another payday. Nah, yeah, whatever. But it's gonna be a solid match. I'm gonna give you somewhere. It's like there's a reason why I want to come in. Like when like I spoke to Khan like after it, and I even told him I was like, I was popping like a lot of stuff, but like I had to do what I had to do. He was like, nah, like it's cool. You feel me? And
Yeah.
I've said this before. Like even
he's
after,
going to get it, but he's a TV talent, so he's going to understand it
yeah.
before anybody else in the locker room.
Yeah, and bro, he liked it. He was like, bro, it's funny because like I had got there. I'm like, all right, I was nervous. I was so nervous, bro. And then Shayla was there. I get there. I'm like, all right, just waiting. And as I turn around, boom, he walks in. I'm like, oh shit, like, I'm like, what's up, bro?
Here's the thing too, like a little inside info, and this kind of ties into what will eventually be our next topic. You and Darius Carter had the same game plan, right? Because you were both trying to get rematches of the matches that you should have gotten, and yours was a slam dunk, right? Yours was a slam dunk. I love Darius. He's my favorite troublemaker. We go out all the time. He's like, coming out tonight?
Yeah.
Come on, you got to come out. I'm coming out anyway. And it paid off for you, which was awesome. And I mean, that was just.
Honestly,
that's one of those shows. Like if you've never seen the show out of itself, see the show. Yeah. But you guys going out there first half main event, rocking the place.
Thank you, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like I was nervous, but like that match showed me like a lot, bro. Like it changed a lot of things for me. Like that was my first time working. Like that guy could be a world champion, like singles world champion. Like
for sure, anywhere.
Bro, like. He's a machine, bro. Like that was the first time I was in the ring with someone. And it's like if you look at like my reactions, my face was like I wasn't selling. That man was beating my ass, bro. Like everything hurt. And even I remember like Shayla said, she's like, yo, when you got hit, the way you went down, like your face was just like, oh my God. I'm like, yes, bro. Like that is a grown man I was in the ring with. Like, and that kind of like just put things in perspective. And I forgot but it might have been you. That's another commentary where it was like that like I see like what like I could potentially be like when I look at him. And
no, that was actually I can't take credit for that. That was God bless him, who I understand why he's on commentary. Like that was such a thrill. That was not Reverend Ron Hunt. Oh my gosh, that was Khan's former partner. Oh my goodness,
was it Caprice that said that?
It was Caprice, right? Because Caprice was at the table, and then Caprice worked Carter next.
Yes. So okay, yeah. So like when Caprice said that, I was there like,
and you got the handshake after.
Yeah, yo, bro. Like that night was really like I told you, it changed a lot for me. Like I got to see what it is like working like top guys and knowing like how to maneuver and stuff, and just like the way. And then like Khan was just so like, I want my rematch. I gotta have my like. I'm way more ready now than what I was in before. I was just popping shit. You feel me? Just swinging like I'm going out there for a fight. But like now, that is one match that I need again.
Well, it's a year later in March. It's a year later in March.
And I think what better matchup, bro, to run it back a year later.
Yeah, it's a year later in March, and I don't know, maybe you want to have some conversations tomorrow.
Yeah, listen, after me, myself, and Face, we handle Gang Gone, we take care of Gang Gone. I think I need to go have some conversations because it's gonna probably be one of the last times Face and I team up too.
It's funny. I can kind of see that because as much as you guys are coming out together, you're also still doing your own thing. It's very much moral support. I got your back even if I'm down the hall.
Yeah.
Because Face is also slowly climbing. Face has also had a hell of a year, not just in independent wrestling in general, but at BCW. We're seeing him step out of step out of the group shadow and creating his own shine.
Bro,
right?
because funny, I was talking to him. He was like, bro, like he said, right now it's Civil War. It's his Avengers. He's like,
Yeah,
DJ, I'm over here with you, and it's just like
I love that.
He said, bro, this is just what it is. So I'm like, yeah. And we had a conversation. He might kill me for saying this, but we had a conversation, and I told him, I was like, I'm not gonna be mad at you if you feel a certain way, because like that was me. But a lot of people told me, no, don't do this. I had to choose my own route and what we want to do. It's like I could only help you, but so much. If you feel like my help isn't getting where you need it to be, then by all means, go ahead, do your thing.
But wouldn't you want that transparency in the heartbreak?
What happened?
Wouldn't you want that transparency in the
Oh yeah,
heartbreak? Right?
yeah. Don't get me wrong. I was a little bit like, yo, bro, what you mean? Like we having mad fun. Like
Yeah.
what's going on? But then he was just saying like, bro, like, and I'm like, I get it. Like, you feel me? Because that's something I never wanted. Like whenever Face and I first started doing our stuff together, very leveled, very leveled, and it just happens, bro. It just naturally happens where one just pulls a little bit.
And wrestlers don't want to understand that it just happens. They think it's a why not me thing, or it's and it's easy to take it personal. I'm not saying not to, but there's a process with wrestlers that they just don't want to accept that.
Yeah, but he's been very supportive of like everything that like been going on, and I've been and like I'll be on him about something. I'm like, yo, bro, like I told him, say, bro, like right now for me, I'm doing this. We can't have it like this. And we had this conversation. Like I so straight up. I'm like, bro, right now I'm moving, bro. You gotta, because I don't want it to be like that, because that was a problem before with the perception. It was like we don't want that. So he's like, yo, I'm gonna start doing. And he's won 3 singles titles, since, bro. It's just like so.
Some of which I've called and seen. To get to the tag team main event for BCW, we have to talk about, which is, it's a matter of time. It's much like your career in general. It's a matter of when, not if. Like, what is up with you and Darius Carter? Do you think he's never going to say it? Do you think he knows that as warm as his throne is, you could freeze it up a little bit? Because this has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Darius Carter, I'm saying it, accidentally leveled you last year at a BCW event when he took on Reverend Ron Hunt.
Yeah.
Like, you were scouting that for Ron Hunt, but you were like, oh, there's Darius Carter. What is it? Because there's something there with just you two, let alone the 4 for tomorrow night.
I would like, so, I'm very vocal about how I feel about the scene and what's going on, a lot of stuff. Darius Carter is like a true vet to me, at least. Like I remember the very first time I met him, it was at one of the independent show that we did, and he walked in the locker room. He was like, "Yo, Jay Boujii was good." I was just like, "Oh, like he knows me." This is early on in my career, like I'm just like, "Oh, like Carter know me." Like he said, "What's up?" He's like, "No, I'm watching. I know what's up." And then when a lot of things was going on with like with the whole takeover stuff, when he's like, "Nah, I know." He's like, "I see a lot." Like he was someone I could go to and talk to, and like he understood, bro. Like a lot of things I was saying, it was like I couldn't go to a lot of people and say this type of stuff. But like, I'll go to Carter, and he's like, "No, I know. Oh, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that." He's like, "Nah, hit me up, talk to me, do everything." So it's like, whenever Face got in there, I'm like, "Yo, chill, bro. Like you can't, like, again, like I said, I'm growing. We doing this, and with growth, you got to understand, like, you can't just pop off like at any time. Like, yo, bro, chill. Like Carter's not the problem, bro. It's Gang Gone. Gang Gone's on. Gang Gone's the reason why we came back out here. You feel me? He got involved in your match. He got involved in my match. Let's handle him. Face being Face. That happened. He pushes me out the way, which is it's Face. It's okay. Like I understand.
Yeah, it's casualty of war.
Yes, fine, good. I'm looking there. I'm just there like, yo. Oh, hold on. I'm just there like, yo, what's going on? Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, that's my mom's calling me.
Tell Court that if it's not a job offer, you're on my phone.
My boy about that. My boy. But okay, yeah. I was just telling him like, yo, Face, like we just can't do this. So I'm watching them fight. I'm looking at this like, yo, this can't be happening right now, because like I got my boy that I've been, rocking out with since the beginning, since day 0, pretty much, and I got Carter, who's helping me get to that next level, who's helping me understand this business, helping me understand the psychology behind the stuff, and knowing like, hey, Boujii, you got to do this, you got to do that. Is like, this is someone that I speak to, and for what it's worth, bro, Carter's not going to be number one forever. Somebody has to step up. It has to take that.
I don't know, because if anybody of that era has been number one,
it's him.
Forever's a long time, but for a while,
bro, like don't
it's
like
the All-Father.
And it's like a day has to come where it's like someone else is gonna do it, and Carter's gonna remain on top as long as no one else grows. Look at BCW and look at from my very first show in, and what I've been doing ever since in BCW and outside of BCW. So it's like I feel like he has to know that I have my eyes on that and that I want that, because he says
He's aware. He's aware.
Yeah, he's listen. Aware. He says I remind him a lot of himself. You feel me? And you hear it. The people say it, where it's like, yo, Boujii and Carter, like, I look like this, and like, yeah, I'm like, so it's just a matter of time. I think. I feel like when it's time for us to cross that bridge, we definitely will. But I do plan on crossing that bridge, 100% plan on crossing it. And I love Carter. I respect him, but you know. I just hope that when it does happen, we can still keep that level of respect for each other.
So with that, you know, we got to talk about all the parties involved, because, you know, I love Face. I got mad love for Face, and I always felt like he was the one not getting his due out of the four, period.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to talk Dr. Sleep, Anthony Gangone. It's so strange because you two have been kind of very far apart, polar opposites. And I've known him for a long time, you know. He felt he needed to be a disruptor in Face's last matchup at BCW, and you're all kind of suffering at the hands of Anthony Gangone, because Gangone was trying to make a clear championship alliance with Carter, and because of the emotions that you two were feeling, you were like, nah, forget this whole union stuff. We got to talk, which was mostly on Face's part. If you go back to the footage, you're being a pretty good mediator, and then by proxy, it all falls at the wheels. So it only makes sense because this is a battle of eras and generations at BCW, and I think that's part of the appeal.
Very, very much so. I think like I feel like right now with the direction of BCW, it's clear where it's at. Like Face and I can definitely be the next two guys who's gonna like carry it forward. You know, they're the like you'll have, and this is not like a knock to anyone else in the locker room, but like I feel like it's Carter, of course, their champions. Carter, Gangone, myself, Face, and honestly, I honestly can't think of anyone else that I feel like is gonna push that envelope like how we are. You know, I feel like a lot of people are kind of like getting caught up into like, hey, I don't like my match, I don't like this, I don't want to do that. Whereas like, well, no, like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna help this brand? And I feel like we understand that. Even Face to an extent, like he gets mad. We all know Face gets mad.
Oh, but, yeah, that he does.
Yeah, but you know, he's starting to understand it, and he's getting his just due now. Because look, he's in a tag match facing both champions. Like, I haven't even had like a match of that caliber, you know, for homegrown BCW guys yet. You know, I haven't faced Gangone since I lost to him in the tournament. So now I'm finally getting back to it, you know, and then plus, you know, I lost to Khan. Like I've had my ups and downs in this journey. So to be where we at now and to keep pushing, I feel like a lot of locker room has to step up in that matter, because if not, it's gonna just be us.
Yeah, I think it's funny you say that, because I feel like with BCW in particular, there's so much opportunity outside of championships, and a part of that is because of all the work you've done. Let's be real. Been there for a while now. No world title, no marquee. You know, you're bringing in titles from other feds and defending it on the BCW platform, sure, but you're one of the top five. You're one of the top five BCW competitors. You know, whatever, you know, no matter which side you're looking at it. So I feel like with BCW, it's always kind of right for the taking. With that being said, yeah, it's evident that the guard can change. You know, because I don't think Carter's reign is over just yet. It's obviously not, because he's got a tag team situation coming up tomorrow night with Gangone. Now, with that being said, here's the downside of you and Face to a degree and you and Takeover to a degree. 4 singles guys with a common bond, with a common goal, right? You're taking on two guys that have been friends for 15 years,
Yeah.
maybe a little longer, who were a legitimate tag team, and only because I knew all those guys were a much more cohesive unit.
Surely.
Are you two prepared for that? Because if you look at the dynamics, you're not walking out Face. Face is not walking you out. You got to work together. I'm not saying you got to be like the Rockers and hit all these tag team moves, but you got to be a unit. You can't be by each other's side.
I think me and Face and I think we are more cohesive than Takeover has been with all four of us. Cause like Face and I, we've done like a lot of work, like a lot, like
Yes.
done a lot of tags and stuff, like in the PA scene with Smash Master Wrestling down there. We did some stuff with some other Jersey spots over here too. So like it just comes down to where it's like, am I gonna have Face that's like the guy that's gonna beat me, that's ready just to hurt? You feel me? That's like, yo, me and Boujii, like we going out there, we about to do some damage, or I'm gonna have Face that's gonna be the guy like, well, I'm trying to like I'm trying to get in my own space, which
Right.
that there can cause like a mishap for us, where it's like, nah, like forget everything else, forget all the noise, forget the tires outside of here. We've been at BCW together since day one. You feel me? My very first match there, Face was with me. We would still take over at that time. The picture that they posted on earlier on social media, that was my first match. I had the takeover shirt on, bro.
Yeah.
They're like, what the hell? Like, So if I get that Face who's willing to grab a chair, whack somebody over the head with it, put her underneath, and I could hit a curb stomp on them. It's an easy day. And Gangon's gonna be in trouble. And notice how I keep saying Gangon, because Gangon is the problem. Carter's not the problem. I need Face to remember that. As long as we lock in and we stay focused on what the real issue is here, everything's gonna be okay.
And will there be a problem when push comes to shove and it's you and Carter in the ring facing off against each other for the first time ever?
I mean, Carter and I, we have a understanding of, so my essentially, right, my issue is Gangon, right, and which should also be Face's issue, but Carter's issue is Face. you know Carter and I don't have no real issues with each other. So I feel like if it did come down to that, like I like, it's hard to say, man, because I'm going out there to win no matter
Right.
what. And he is the heavyweight champion, and a win over that team as a collective, whether the pin is on him or the pin is on Gangon, it's still a win for myself and still a win for Face. And that can definitely get us there to where we need to be. So I feel like I don't want to fight him. I don't, at least not under these circumstances. Like, I'm very hesitant with it, but if I have to, then I'm gonna have to. But I'm just hoping that Carter just remembers that our issue is Gangon. It's not him.
Yeah, but Carter's quick on a draw. You got to be on that Boujii stuff
I
because he's going to come out and he's going to pull the 6-shooter. And we're talking BCW. We're talking, that is the wrong graphic, but who cares because I ain't famous. We're talking BCW. Welcome to the new year 2024. It's the tag
It's
team main
crazy
event.
seeing that. It's so
Huh?
crazy. It's crazy seeing this graphic, bro.
I love it because, again, I've been doing it 10 years. It's a true battle of eras. It's tomorrow night. It's your main event. Hailing from the Mecca, Richfield Park, New Jersey, 106 Bergen Avenue. Doors are 4, bells at 5. It
Yeah,
is
I heard
Dr.
some
Seuss, the
rumbles
Grand
too.
Dragon champion Anthony Gangon teaming up for the first time in eons with his old friend, the All-Father Darius Carter, and your BCW heavyweight champion against Jay Boujii and Face. And I tell you, I love that picture of you because you got the Austin gear. You're one of the only guys that do tribute gear and don't do a blatant ripoff.
Thank you.
Because you got the Kane, the Austin, and you got another
Yes.
one that I like.
I got the Mysterio.
Yes.
Yes, I got Mysterio, and I have some Razor Ramon too. I got the
Oh, I've never seen that.
I wore it like twice just because like when I got that one, I started transitioning like, okay, like I'm kind of done with the tribute gear. I kind of want to start wearing like my own stuff. But I actually might wear the Razor one tomorrow because I haven't worn it in a while and Shayla told me to, so I might just do it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Some rapid fire, but this is basically the comeback before we ring the bell here. The one person I want to face right now in BCW in singles action is.
I mean, like, I want off rip, like, with no thought, Darius Carter, because I want that heavyweight championship. Because, like, I feel like I feel like everywhere I've gone, people want to just throw me in like their mid card, and they don't. I feel like they're scared to see what I would do in a main top guy position, being the flag bearer of your company. And I feel like at BCW is the one spot that like I would honestly have a real opportunity for that. So I would say him. But just to get my just due, I like I said, Gango is the issue, bro. I have to get my match with Gango.
Who is the main name? Realistic answer only. The main name that you wish you could wrestle right now in any promotion.
Any promotion. Honestly, if we're going back to MLW, I would love to face Filthy Tom Lawler in the singles.
Oh, that'd be cool. And a total contrast of styles.
I would love to face him in singles. We did something real quick in the 6-man match we had. You know, I got in the ring with Hammerstone, which was crazy. That is a big guy. Him and Josh Bishop, so that was cool. But I would like to face Tom Lawler in the singles, and he's really cool as well. Like, I know I'm Boujii, he's WTF, but he a cool guy.
The one thing that I'm constantly reminding myself about training is
honestly, I wish I could train more, bro. I really wish I could. It's just like, it's so weird trying to go to a place where you can actually get some quality training in. But if the one thing I remember is like, take your time, like slow down.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this wrestling match.
Oh, the Bodega Street fight, 100%. 100%. That was the one that like got me to where I am like now. That gave me confidence. That showed that the people believed in me. That showed I had the community behind me. That showed like, hey, Boujii, it's time to strap up and let's get to work.
The best place to eat in Fordham Road?
On Fordham Road, the best place to eat. Yo, what's that? Yeah, but no, you know the buffet joint, the Chinese joint that's over. You don't like that? I think it's that one.
What's it called?
It's Maryland Buffet, but change its name.
It used to be Maryland Buffet, but she said the Gyro King, so we could go Gyro.
Gyro King's good. I know the Maryland Buffet. It's good. It's not the best Chinese buffet I ever had. The best in the 5 boroughs, Sheepshead Bay has got Sports Buffet. They're the best buffet in the 5 boroughs.
The pizza shop?
By the D train. That's the best part. Right there.
Not Emilio's.
No, Gang Concourse. The best Italian.
Oh, the best Italian pizza joint? Yeah, it's cool. That's okay.
You see, I'm the other way. You know where I love in the Bronx? I will not have it in Harlem. I will not have it in Brooklyn. Jimbo's.
Jimbo.
Yeah. I will not have it in Harlem. I will not have it in Brooklyn. I will have Jimbo's in the Bronx. I think there's only one left.
I had one. Did you go to one that used to be on Tremont?
Yes.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
Yes.
That's the one. Hell yeah.
You go to Tremont, you go to the mom and pop sneaker store, you see a little crime, and then you get back on the D train, you go home.
And you're good. You're good. Regular day.
I cannot thank you enough for doing this. This was a real thrill getting to talk to you, because when we're in the locker rooms, we always make time for each other, but it's cut and go because you get grabbed in places. I'm always rooting for you.
Thank you, bro.
I'm always rooting for you. I can't speak high enough for you. It's a matter of when, not if. And
thank you.
And the next time somebody's flipping you off, it might be me. So just look out. Thank you so much for doing this, ladies and gentlemen. He is Jay Boujii. This is the voice, Cheyenne Ortiz. The following conversation was scheduled for one fall.
My man. There we go. Okay, sir. Thank you. Good luck. Did you see that? Okay, well, so he didn't want to make him feel bad because he's such a generous and good. Nice man.